Hello all you amazing people. In this video I'll be covering the best new subclass mods in Baldur's Gate 3's Patch 7 mod manager. So this is all ones that will be in the mod manager that you can download if you got PC and will be likely coming to console a bit later. So you can see here we have a bunch of choices, like we got the College of Friendship, College of Glamour, College of Eloquence, College of Dance. And that's not just all. We got ourselves Circle of Stars, Druid. We got the Fighter with a bunch of different subclasses, with the Shield Master is the one that I'm going to be focusing on in this video. We also got some subclasses for the Ranger, giving us a Drake Warden, which gives you the ability to have a Drake Companion, choosing a damage type for that little tiny dragon, and the Horizon Walker being another very cool subclass. We also have some different ones for the Rogue. Now, for some reason, it is only allowing me to show like the Pirate and the Swashbuckler, but there is also the Marauder, the Origami, and a few other choices there. We also have things like the Blade Singer Wizard, pretty cool subclass there. And then different subclasses for the Paladin, like the Oath of Conquest, which is a very fun one. Offensive, similar to the Vengeance Paladin, but maybe a little bit stronger. We got the Death Domain Cleric here, as well as Sorcerer. We got a Divine Soul, a Phoenix Soul, a Blood Sorcerer, which is an absolute blast to play, and the Voidborn Sorcerer. In addition, the Warlock also gets the Remembrance, the Celestial, which is a radiant damage, kind of a cleric type Warlock, the Undead Warlock, and the Dread Overlord being my favorite. Look at all these different cantrips and subclass features that it gets. This one is very well done. I'll be going over all of that, as well as the Hexblade, which is another extremely popular subclass for the Warlock, and many more. So I guess we'll first kick things off here with the Bard subclasses, because the Bard's a very popular class, and getting all these extra choices is incredible. Now, there's a few other subclasses for the Bard that I've seen in the mod manager, but for some reason you only really have one working at a time, so we'll go with this here, and we'll go through a couple of the subclasses just to show them off, because there's a lot of great choices here. So with the Bard, we're going to take this up to level 3. That's when we get to choose our subclass. Now, the Sword Bard is difficult, because that's probably the best class in this game. But we got like the College of Friendship Bard, which focuses on having a beast companion, accompanies you on your adventures. College of Glamour gives different things like charming targets and gaining temporary health points. The College of Eloquence gives deception and persuasion ability checks, and Unsettling Words gives a 1d6 penalty to saving throws, kind of similar to the Valor Bard. And the College of Dance is like a monk bard, so you're about punching people in the face. Kind of funny. We'll start off with the College of Friendship, because this one is pretty cool. You do get to choose your spells here, and I also have a 5e spell mod. This is from Nexus Mod, so that's why I got some extra choice for spells. But yeah, the Bard itself is really fun to play as, because it's a nice combination between being a martial class as well as getting the ability to cast spells and mostly control spells. But what's nice about this, we get our improved Bardic Inspiration, it's restored on long or short rest. We got our level 3 spells here, so things like Glyph of Warding, Plant Growth are great choices. The Bard really picks up at level 6 though, and that's where we get to see our things like Counter Charm here. And we get ourselves additional Undead, so when we use Animate Dead, we get an additional Corpse. And creatures created with Animate Dead have additional hit points equal to your Wizard Bard level, and your proficiency bonuses add to the damage, so upwards of 4 extra damage. We also get the Animate Dead spell, so not only do we have a companion, we also have the Undead. It's what friendship's all about, eh? So I'll go through a bit further in this, kind of blending the Necromancer Wizard in alongside a Bard, which is a great class as well. So we got great spell choices here. Especially with the 5e mod, you get a lot of choice in what you're able to do with it. So yeah, I highly recommend that mod if you're on PC, and it'll likely be coming to console at a later date because it's a very popular one. 5e spells just introduce a bunch of extra spells. Let's get some more cantrips here, and we get our magical secrets at level 10. That's what makes the Bard so great, is you can take yourself things like Lightning Bolt, Conjure Elemental. You can even go all in and take the minor elemental, the major elemental, because hey, this is about having as many summons as possible. We'll take a skill proficiency in Intimidation and Persuasion, because those are pretty good ones to have. But yeah, you get yourself magical secrets, which is really nice. And then at level 11 here, we get ourselves another leveled spell. And there are some level 6 spells that we can get, but like Eye Bite is a very powerful one. Now, what's good about this class is we got the ability to summon in a bunch of Undead and our Animal Companion, which I'll show off in just a moment. So I'll go with that there. And yeah, what's cool about that, you can summon in multiple things. I like the Bear because the Bear brings a second summon in as well, so you can pull this guy in. I also have a mod that reduces the helmet, or removes the helmets on them, but you got the Ursine reinforcements there. You don't get to control this Bear, but it's still there. Very nice. And then we got our minor or major elementals, so we can pop one of these in. Animate Undead, which allows us to pop in 2 of them with extra damage. And then we have all of our control spells like Hold Person, Dominate Person, Hold Monster, etc. So really cool. College of Friendship, it's all about the friendship. So yeah, this one's nice if you like to have extra summons. Although I think I prefer like a Druid or one of the new classes that is in the mod manager itself, which I'll show you guys, which is great for summons. This one, the Oakheart Sentinel with the Oakheart Keeper subclass. This one gives us a great amount of choice for you can have up to 11 summons with it, so it's great. Highly recommend that one. But looking into some other subclasses for the Bard, we'll just go ahead here with this, and I'll show off the Eloquence and Glamour Bards as well, because they're pretty cool, and also the Dance Bard, because hey, who likes Tavern Brawler, eh? It's pretty powerful. So next, going into the College of Glamour, this one has our Mantle of Inspiration, getting 5 temporary health points and double their movement speed next turn, and play a song that charms humanoids, prevents them from attacking you. You know, with the action economy in Baldur's Gate 3, it's almost better to just damage people versus reducing the damage that you'll take. So that is one thing to keep in mind with this class, is you do have some downsides, is you're not as offensive as something like a Sword Bard. So these don't break the game, but if you want something new, this is cool. Mantle of Inspiration now gives us 8 temporary health points, so that's really great. We also get some more increased spells there. And at level 6, we get ourselves the Mantle of Majesty, which is basically a concentration bonus action version of command. So, hey, bonus actions are nice. You can also use the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel once you get to Act 3, but getting this at level 6, pretty nice. I do like Plant Growth too for crowd control, because it doesn't require concentration, where we do now have that spell that requires concentration. And you do want to be mindful, because the Bard does have a lot of concentration spells, so that is one thing to keep in mind. But we'll just keep going through here to show off the level 10 perk, or the higher level perks that we get here. So yeah, this one, again, not as strong as a Sword Bard, but you still get the magical secrets, so that's pretty fun. And I just really like to take the major elemental there. You also get your skill proficiencies in Intimidation and Persuasion. I always go with Persuasion, that's the best skill proficiency to have. And then we got our higher level spells here. And once we get to level 12, I guess that's it for this one. But yeah, pretty cool. Different flavor if you want to have something that's a little bit more strong in certain ways. More so that bonus action. Mantle of the Majesty. So you can do things like Grovel, which is really nice. Knock them prone. Although this does require concentration, it's still fun to have that differentiating factor. And the Mantle Inspiration, being able to double movement speed, that's pretty good. Because, you know, movement speed on a martial class and extra temporary health points, you can buff up your teammates really well with this. And it's not too brokenly overpowered. So I know a lot of people like to use some of these more overpowered classes, but there's also a lot of commenters that are talking more so about the less overpowered classes, and that's exactly what this delivers. Because my comparison when I'm thinking about if a class is overpowered or not, does it stack up against the College of Sword Bard? And if it does, then it may be overpowered. And the College of Eloquence here gives us the Unsettling Words, 1d6 to their next saving throw until the end of the next round. Pretty nice, because you can set up like a Hold Monster or Hold Person with that, so very effective. Let's go through and take some more spells here, and we'll just keep burning through just to show this off, because I want to cover a lot of classes in this video. The Bard being a very interesting class too, because you got the ability to boost up your teammates. Now we get the Unfailing Inspiration here, inspiring an ally to add a 1d8 bonus to their next attack roll, saving throw, and add a 1d8 bonus to their next ability check and give it advantage. Pretty good. If the ally fails their attack roll or saving throw, they do not lose Unfailing Inspiration. That's pretty strong. You also get to speak with animals. So being able to force someone to get an increase to their attack rolls is pretty huge. So obviously that's a really good one to go with. There's a spider on my desk. So yeah, that's pretty solid. Continue along with this here, going up to level 8. Again, we get our magical secrets at level 10, which is very effective. So that is something we'll be looking forward to. And yeah, we got ourselves Hold Monster here. Now at level 10, we get ourselves the Magical Secrets. So again, all bards get this at level 10. If you're a lore bard, you get level 6. It's great because you can really pad out your character once you hit this level, and it just gives you a bunch of variation if you're looking for a specific spell like Spirit Guardians or Hunger of Hadar. And yeah, it's just a fun choice to get all that freedom of choosing whatever spell you want. So that's that for the Bard. We do get some nice things like the Unfailing Inspiration. So This is great because you can really buff up your teammates with this and give them that big bonus to their attack rolls. And then if they miss, they keep that bonus. So that's nice because you're not wasting it if you end up missing with it. So again, these bard subclasses are more so for buffing. And again, the swords bard being extremely overpowered makes this a difficult comparison because none of these are as strong as the sword bard. But we'll get into some further choices here. I'll last cover the College of Dance here. There's two of them here that I have, for some reason, the mods that I have. But this one gives us the Dance Virtuoso. You gain advantage on performance checks. When your base armor class is 10 plus Dexterity and Charisma modifiers. Agile Strikes, you can expend to use your Bardic Inspiration. You gain the ability to perform one free unarmed attack until the end of your next turn. Pretty nice. You combine the Art of Dance with the unarmed combat. Your unarmed strikes scale with your Dexterity instead of your Strength. If your Dexterity is higher, similar to a monk, and then your unarmed deal 1 to 6 damage. So, again, that's pretty good. So you want to get around punching people with this subclass. It's pretty fun. And I love the monk, so I might be a little bit biased when it comes to that. But being able to spellcast and punch, it's nice. It isn't as strong, obviously, as the open hand monk with Rogue Thief, but it's still pretty powerful. Getting that extra attack using your Bardic Inspiration, that's nice because you're going to want to use that. You also get the Inspiring Movement. When an enemy enters your melee range, you can take a reaction, use one of your Bardic Inspiration, increase your movement speed by 4.5, and disengage until the end of your turn. Additionally, you get the ability to give this benefit to an ally. Huge. Tandem Footwork. Using your Bardic Inspiration, you can increase initiative by 2 at the start of combat. After the end of the next combat, this effect will expire. So given the ability to give someone a +2 to their initiative is huge, because you could set up your Sorcerer to do some crowd control or some pretty cool damage spells because they can cast 2 spells per turn. So that really does give you a bunch of extra benefits that are quite strong. So level 9, we got ourselves another spell here, and then level 10, obviously the Magical Secrets. And we get our subclass feature, Improved Tandem Footwork, so it gives it +3 to initiative. So obviously that's good. And we'll go ahead here, Magical Secrets, and take our ability scores in Intimidation and Persuasion. You get extra points there for those. So the other one is a little bit different than this one. Just depends which you take from the mod manager itself. And then we get ourselves at level 10, Leading Evasion. So your Grace and Agility lets you dodge out of the way of certain spells. Whenever you succeed a Dexterity saving throw, deals no damage and only half if you fail. So less damage from spells overall. And you automatically share this benefit with any allies within 3 meters. That's huge because that's a big benefit to your teammates. And we also got ourselves our different bard abilities here. So this one's pretty fun. I do like it a lot. All the bard subclasses are pretty powerful, so I just want to cover all of them in this video. Took us about 12 minutes in. We're next going to go with the Death Domain Cleric, because this gives us things like Bone Chill and the ability to cast Bone Chill on 2 targets instead of 1, and Ray of Sickness and False Life. You get to choose your own deity. We'll go with Bual, because death. And then we got our ability score choices there, so we'll go ahead and go through the leveling for the Death Cleric. Death Domain, a very popular domain. Turn Undead at level 2, and then Channel Divinity, Touch of Death. You can use a Channel Divinity to destroy another creature's life force by touch, dealing an additional 9 necrotic damage with a melee attack. Obviously, that's good. And then we also want to take Inflict Wounds. So necrotic damage being one of the less powerful damage types, but you can still get a lot of benefit out of it. We also get things like Blindness and Ray of Enfeeblement as our spells. And again, 5e spells gives a lot of extra choice there, so that's why you're seeing things like Word of Radiance and Toll the Dead. 2 very popular spells that the Cleric gets traditionally in 5e. Now, level 5 here, we do get some good things like Vampiric Touch, and we get a free Animate Dead, so obviously that's pretty huge. And whenever we turn Undead, takes radiant damage. Great spell choices like Transfer Life, and yeah, a lot of good choices there. Subclass feature level 6. Your ability to channel negative energy becomes more potent. Necrotic damage dealt by you ignores resistance to necrotic damage. That's huge because now we can upcast our Inflict Wounds, 3d10, even higher when we upcast it, and it's not going to get, if the target's resistant to it, it's not going to affect, or not going to deal any less damage. Blight is also nice because there's actually a lot of plants that resist necrotic damage, so this will take maximum damage if you cast on a plant, and it also will land more likely, so that's great. Divine Strike Necrotic, very cool, giving us increased necrotic damage that's not going to get resisted by targets, so that's pretty great. We also get Cloud Kill, so anytime that we have undead around, Cloud Kill won't kill them, so that's good because it's sometimes tough when you have a bunch of zombies by nuking them with your own spells. They ignore it with that. Divine Intervention, you guys know the deal with that. It's pretty good. We also like to have a bit of radiant damage too, because we're fighting undead. And we're obviously going to take something like Create Undead whenever we get to the max level, but also Planar Ally being a very good level 6 spell. So you get your free cast, that's pretty good. And then that's it for the Death Domain Cleric. Mostly focused on summoning in, but we also got our Channel Divinity, plus 27 necrotic damage with a melee attack. Obviously that's good, because that's not going to get resisted. That's flat out 27 damage. Very strong, so this is a very fun subclass to go with. Next we'll go with the Druid, and I'm going to cover the Circle of Stars Druid, because this is a pretty popular class. It allows you to go into your Astral Starry form, and with this we get the ability to cast a few different things. So we can use the aspect of the arrow, chalice, or dragon, which will give us different increases to our attacks. And then we can also conjure a star map, which will give us the guidance cantrip and guiding bolt without expending spell slots. You also keep all the features of being a druid, so wild shape, etc. But you're typically going to want to use that for your wild shape forms. So we also get some really nice spells here if you got the 5e spells mod. It's really great. I can't say enough good things about it. And then we also get ourselves, I'll show you what the starry form looks like in a moment here. So we'll just keep on taking our levels here just to show this off. Wild shape improved attacks at level 5, which is nice because sometimes you do need to go into wild shape. And then we also get the owl bear, but we also get the cosmic omen. So consult your star map for omens, giving you access to one of two spells based on whether you divined good or bad omen. So hey, that's pretty nice. We also got some more levels here: Guardian of Nature, Summon Elemental, some cool concentration based spells if you have the 5e mod. And yeah, I really like the Circle of Stars Druid. It's not overpowered, but it just gives you some cool options. We also get things like Cone of Cold, which is nice. That's normally a druid spell, so it gets kind of excluded whenever you're playing on base game. And we also get the Twinkling Constellations. You can expend a use of your wild shape form to get improved to your starry form. So yeah, the starry form is really good because we're able to cast a little bit more effectively while we're in that. So I'll show what that looks like here. Once we get to level 12, and boom, I'll just back out of that. So we got our starry form, Twinkling Constellations. We also got the ability to conjure a star map. So we pull this in, and this allows us to cast things like our Star Map Guiding Bolt for free. So this uses one of the charges here that we have, Star Map Guiding Bolt charge, 4 free casts of it, which is nice. We also got our Wild Shape. We got our Cosmic Omen, so we can use this, get either a good or bad prophecy. We got the Cosmic Woe. Woe is me. And then we also have our Twinkling Constellation. You can see there's like a starry form that's around us, which is really nice. So whenever a nearby enemy is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, ability check, or skill check, you may impose a 1d6 penalty to it. So it can protect you from getting hit, which is nice. And then here's our starry form. This Archer gives a 5 to 19 extra radiant damage when we're casting. Chalice gives us spells that restore health, will give us extra health, so nice for healing. And then the starry form dragon's good for when you make a wisdom or intelligence checks, you can treat a 9 and lower on the d20 as a 10, and you have advantage on constitution saving throws. So these are really nice because you can go into this astral starry form, and yeah, you got this cool appearance. So this one is really fun for this alone. But yeah, I think that this is a really good subclass. It's not broken. I would say that honestly a Spore Druid and a Moon Druid are probably better than this. The Moon Druid being one of the best tanks in the game, where this is a good caster. Now for the fighter, I'm going to get into the Shield Fighter because this is one that was recommended to me, and it's a very fun subclass because, you know, if you're a Captain America fan, you know, it's pretty cool. I also have some other ones here. These are all from Nexus mods. I'm not going to cover them in this video because it's about the mod manager. We got the Arcane Archer. Just briefly show off what that looks like because it has a bunch of different spells or different arrows you can use. Banneret, or the Purple Dragon Knight, is more so a buffer. Psy Warrior is kind of like the Battle Master but focused on psychic or psionic attacks. Rune Knight can use runes to empower themselves, and the Samurai is pretty cool too. But the Shield Master, this gives us the +1 armor class when using a shield. And when a hostile creature misses you with a melee attack, you can retaliate with a weapon attack. And we also have the Shield Bash, so you can bash anyone with your shield as a bonus action. Charge at him like Captain America. And yeah, what's nice about this, although, so there is a item that was meant to be in the game that would give you a free shield that you could throw at enemies and it would return to you, but they didn't end up making it into the game. Fast reactions. Your Mastery Shield allows you to react faster to enemy attacks. You have an extra reaction point. That's huge, so you can reflect attacks back to people. This is good too if you wanted to like multi-class and take like 6 levels of this, as well as 6 levels of like a Bard or someone that's going to get counterspell. And then we also got the improved Shield Mastery +2 while using an armor class, and then an additional bonus action. So 2 bonus actions, 2 reactions. That's pretty nice. It doesn't end up being super overpowered either. Like, that's obviously nice, but it's not broken. Fighters are all supposed to be pretty good. Indomitable, as per usual, as a fighter. And then we get at level 10. Mastering the shield, you have an extra reaction point while using shields, so even further reactions. That's really nice. 3 attacks, obviously that's good. And then ourselves a level 10, we get our feats. So this is really great because we got the ability to do our shield bash, and also we can, I guess I don't have a shield equipped because I'm using Dante's sword, but if we have a shield on, we can be pretty strong. So I'll just show you what that would look like here. So we get that equipped. We have our shield bash, so you can attack using your bonus action. 1d8 plus 8 bludgeoning damage, so it's pretty nice. I think it's a great subclass that just gives a lot of fun choice whenever you're fighting in combat. And yeah, extra bonus action is always good. Extra reaction, even better. So yeah, we'll go through here. Next, I'll be showing off, there is some monk subclasses, but they're mostly focused on Nexus mods. So I'll show off the Oath of Conquest, which used to be on Nexus mods, but it is in the mod manager itself. This gives us the chosen adversary advantage on attack rolls against a target, and they might become frightened whenever they take damage, which is huge. And then we also have the Oath of Conquest tenets, which are similar to the Oath of Vengeance tenets. So if you played a Vengeance Paladin like myself, you'll know what those are. We get our Divine Smites as per usual. This is a fun one because it's really offensive. We can, at level 3, add a +10 to an attack roll similar to the War Cleric, which is awesome. And we also have the Conquering Presence, so exude a terrifying presence, possibly causing nearby creatures to become fearful of you. Affected creatures can repeat its saving throw at the end of each turn. Fear for 10 turns, plus free command and Armor of Agathis. Obviously, that's really nice. We also get Spiritual Weapon too, so Spiritual Weapon can be really strong because it's a bonus action that we can just pop in and we can drop down. So see here, we got Hold Person, but if we do a Spiritual Weapon Maul, the Maul can daze targets, which makes them have disadvantage on Wisdom saving throws, which is exactly what Hold Person is, making this a really nice combination, plus an extra attack. This has a huge power spike at level 5. It isn't broken, but it's still obviously really good. A big fan of the Oath of Conquest, and you also get the Aura of Conquest, so if a creature is frightened of you, its movement speed is reduced to 0, and it takes psychic damage equal to half your Paladin level, which is doubled if you have the Resonance Stone, so whatever your Paladin level is, so that can be really nice. What's nice about the Oath of Conquest is you're very strong, and you get some really good crowd control spells with Command, Hold Person, and Fear. Fear being a really good underrated spell. We also get the Aura of Courage, where we can't become frightened, and nearby enemies can't, or nearby allies can't either. Improved Divine Smite, 1d8 extra radiant damage. So yeah, this Conquest Paladin is a very strong one. Obviously, Paladins are very powerful as is. I'm not going to cast that because they'll start a war inside here. We don't want that, so we'll just continue on along. But yeah, that Oath of Conquest is very fun, more offensive focused than the Vengeance Paladin, but still very good. The Ranger, so I'll show off the Horizon Walker one here because that's one of the ones that's on Nexus mods, or it's one of the ones that's in the in-game mod manager, and it's really fun because what's better than being able to phase shift around? So the Drake Warren, I misspoke earlier, this is actually from Nexus mods, but I think it is coming to the in-game mod manager. I did see something regarding that. So with the Horizon Walker, we get advantage on perception checks for 6 or 10 turns, 1 minute. We have the Planar Warrior class action, so choose one creature you can see. The next attack you have against it becomes force damage, and the creature takes an additional 1d8 force damage. You also get protection from good and evil. We'll take Searing Smite there. That gives us, that's from the 5e spell mod. So yeah, this one's pretty fun because you can deal force damage to targets, which is obviously a very good damage type. We get ourselves Misty Step at level 5. You guys know Misty Step is a good spell, so we'll keep on rolling with that. And then we get ourselves all the same benefits of playing as a ranger, so all those nice resistances. And then level 7, we get Etherealness, so you can enter the ethereal plane for 1 minute. While in the ethereal plane, you can only be affected by other creatures on that plane. Creatures that aren't on that plane can't perceive you and can't interact with you, and ignore all objects and effects that aren't on the ethereal plane as a bonus action. Great bit of survivability there, so I'll show off what that looks like. We also have the difficult terrain, doesn't slow us down as per usual. Really nice. Let's go ahead here, and we also get Haste at level 9. Obviously, you know what Haste is all about. It's good. And really nice that we get that there. We get ourselves Hide in Plain Sight, plus 10 to stealth checks and become invisible. Obviously, plus 10 to stealth checks helps out a lot with staying hidden, so we also get at level 11 Distance Strike. When you use a weapon action attack, you can teleport up to 3 meters before each attack to an unoccupied space you see. If you attack at least 2 different creatures with the action, you can make one additional attack with the same action against a third creature. And we also get the distance strike teleport. As part of your action, you can teleport up to 3 meters to unoccupied space. Teleport initiates your attack action, so it must be immediately followed by an action, movement, or a combination of both. You'll be on. So yeah, you use that to teleport to an enemy, and you have to use an attack afterwards. And then you can also continue to attack with it. So yeah, I'll show off the class benefits of this one because they're pretty cool. So detect portal, you can use this to see and get perception check boost for 10 turns. Etherealness, so we can pop into the ethereal plane and we become a little orb. You can ponder the orb. So ethereal dash allows you to double your movement speed, and ethereal step ends up using your health if you have the emulator greater health on. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Can't use distance strike teleport because we do have to be in combat for that, but planar warrior pretty nice too because you can increase the damage of your attacks and make it so that it affects only force damage on the enemy, which is just incredible to have. So force damage, obviously, as you guys know, it deals a lot of extra damage. So next we'll go with the rogue, and I'll show off the pirate here. The swashbuckler is also quite nice. What's good about these is the rogue actually has a lot of them. So the pirate, you get some spells. The swashbuckler is more so about doing different types of sneak attacks, and you get more. This one's a charisma based class, so it adds to your initiative based on your charisma modifier. And you don't provoke opportunity attacks after attacking. So what's nice is these gives you the rakish audacity attacks, which are a stronger form of your sneak attacks. The pirate, however, gives us some spells, and they're pretty fun. Like, you get yourself command, which is awesome, hunter's mark, grease, and we get a fighting style, so we can go dueling or 2-weapon fighting. Pirate. The pirate's life for me. And then you get slashing flourishes, which are obviously pretty good. Create or destroy water, setting up your other teammates. It's also really nice. We also get the uncanny dodge at level 5, taking half the damage. It's great. The rogue is actually pretty defensive. You get slashing flourish again, and we can choose skill proficiencies. Deception, intimidation are my recommendations for that. At level 6 or 7, we get ourselves evasion. So whenever spellers deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals only half. Then we get improved critical hit, and we also get the disarming strike to knock weapons out of their hands, like a true pirate. And we get some cool ones like. You get yourself the web spell, knock, which is pretty useful, and it makes sense to have it on a rogue or a pirate. At level 8, I do have a mod that gives an extra attack to the rogue at level 8, so I think that that's pretty fair, because the rogue is a lot weaker than its other counterparts, like the bard. And then we get an additional bonus action at level 9. So this one is pretty good, but it's not, I wouldn't say this is broken, because you have to go up in high levels. You get proficiency in survival and deception here, too. It's nice. The Wanderer of the Seven Seas. And yeah, the Swashbuckler being another really cool subclass of them. Reliable talent, making an ability check with a skill you're not proficient in. The lowest you can roll is a 10. Very nice. And we are only a quarter caster, so we only get upwards of level 2 spells. But it's better than nothing. So yeah, the Pirate's Life for me, mateys. So yeah, it's a cool one. The Marauder is probably my favorite, but unfortunately, I have to move some mods around because I have almost 200 mods installed and it overrides some of them. So next we're going into some of my favorites. The Divine Soul Sorcerer. Phoenix Soul, this one is unfortunately from Nexus mods, but it allows you to turn into a Phoenix Egg and rebirth yourself. And you heal yourself from fire spells. That's cool. But I'll touch on the Blood Sorcerer and the Divine Soul because these are two very cool ones that I think are quite strong. So you get access to Cleric spells with the Divine Soul, so you get to pick your What's nice about that is the Sorcerer is usually pretty weak when it comes to spell selection, so getting all these extra spells whenever you can cast 2 of them per turn is huge, because you can get some Cleric spells, as you'll see. We get our choice of whatever spells we want. This is the Sorcerer spell list, and then here's the Cleric spell list. So we can take things like Spiritual Weapon, Bless, Sanctuary, some healing spells that use Charisma. So, very nice. It actually becomes very strong. I've done a build guide on this previously because it is so good. You get lots of choices, and that's what makes it such a good subclass to roll with. At level 5, we continue to get healing spells, but Twin Haste and the ability to do Mass Healing Word, Revivify, Spirit Guardians. Although Spirit Guardians does compete with Haste for your best in slot there for concentration. Celestial Blood, so no disease can hurt you, and whenever you can make your healing spells cure disease, poison, paralysis, or blindness with 1 sorcery point. So you pop that on before you do a Mass Healing Word, and you can free your teammates from being affected by any type of disease. So that's really good. What's nice about this, though, again, you get options like Guardian of Faith, Planar Ally, Spirit Guardians. The Cleric has great spell selection, but in blacks in terms of the amount of spells you can get that are different types of damage. So getting all that is huge, but as I said, you get a lot of free spells because every second level you get to take 2 cleric spells, and it's any cleric spell. So lots of freedom of choice here. And then we also get our meta magic, so you can cast spells that would normally take an action as bonus action. We can fly at level 11. This one is becoming borderline OP just because you get so much. The biggest downside to the cleric is they don't have, or the downside to the sorcerer is they don't have a lot of choice when it comes to spells. And this counteracts that by allowing you to take a bunch of spells from the cleric, and you can apply haste and things like that to yourself. We also got a favored by the gods charge, so you can use this to succeed on a saving throw or attack roll. Really great. I think that this is a very fantastic subclass. Gives a lot of variability in the style of builds that you can run because you're a healer, you're a damage dealer. The sorcerer is my favorite, so maybe I'm biased, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Blood Sorcerer, giving us the Blood Bolt, Blood Sacrifice, which makes you bleed. You don't take, these will make you take damage unless you're bleeding. So this gives 2 necrotic if you're not bleeding. And a Blood Needle makes you take 1d4. We also have Blood Bath, and then things like Blood Rebuke. And we also have the ability to heal ourselves 3 times over. So if we use Circle of Death, that's 18 health that we heal. Advantage on attack rolls when bleeding. And spells you cast ignore resistance and immunity necrotic damage. That right there, again, is what's so great about that. Because necrotic damage's biggest weakness is everybody and their dog resist necrotic damage. But whenever we don't have that to worry about, that makes it really good. Again, I am a huge cleric, or a huge fan of the sorcerer, so maybe I'm just hyping it up. Blood Ray is kind of like a version of Scorching Ray with necrotic damage that ignores resistances and deals the caster about for 1d4 unless you're bleeding. And then Blood Spike, transform the blood beneath the target, and you set up a lot of blood spots in the ground and you can deal damage from these blood spots. So that's one of the spells that you can deal damage from, and that's what makes it such a good class, because you can set up a lot of blood, and it feels interesting to be able to play off of that because no other class really has this, not even the Blood Mage. Crimson Blast is like a fireball made of blood, and Sanguine Feast that drain the vitality of all creatures. The caster heals for a total of half the damage drawing from their vitality to gain their forces. So that's pretty good, obviously. And then we got ourselves the ability to get Blood Magic, add our Charisma modifier to the damage of necrotic. Same thing with the Phoenix Soul. I'll just take a break to talk about that, but the Charisma modifier getting added to damage is huge. The Phoenix Soul heals with the fire damage, whereas this one, if you stand in a blood stain, you get 2d4 health points, so you can get up to 8 health if we're standing in blood. Typically, you're going to be standing in blood because you make yourself bleed a lot. Bloodstorm impales a bloodstorm from the sky. It gives you 1 to 12 damage if you're bleeding, or 1d4, or gives you 1d12 if you're not bleeding, or 1d4 if you are. So typically you want to use your bonus action that makes you bleed before you do any of these attacks, because otherwise you take a lot of damage from your own spells. This is my favorite, Grasp of the Dead. So blood tentacles rise from the ground, attacking and restraining creatures that stand in blood surfaces, and restrains them for 1 turn. So this is really strong, obviously, because, yeah, you can restrain targets. And for cantrips, you do get lots of great choices here. But what's fun about this is you still get all the benefits of being a sorcerer. So if you want to use Cone of Cold, Chain Lightning, etc., you got that. But you deal additional necrotic damage, and Blood Power gives you 1d6 more necrotic damage when you're bleeding, and gets advantage on attack rolls against bleeding targets. And you get the Crimson Leech, which deals 12d6 plus 40 necrotic damage. And you take 40 if you're not bleeding, so you always want to use this when you're bleeding. Typically with these spells, you want to always be casting while bleeding. And I should have taken Circle of Death here, because that is a great necrotic spell. As I mentioned, when you attack someone and take them out with this, you get 3 times the level, so it's 18 health with this. Very strong. So I guess I'll show this one off, because this one is super cool. But yeah, what we would normally be doing is you want to affect bleeding on yourself. So call for the blood rain here, and this creates a big pool of blood for where you can use like Blood Spike here, which is really strong. And you can see there it hits everyone with their attacks. We also got Bloodstorm, which is like a fireball version of bleed. Bloodstorm. I really like the Sanguine Feast to heal yourself, or even the Grasp of the Dead, which you can see here. Will restrain targets and deal necrotic damage, so it's really strong. And we took them out with a bleed. Yeah, this one's really fun. I like it. I think it's a lot better than the Blood Mage, which is in the mod manager, as well as a new class with 3 subclasses that we can see here. Blood Mage, it's much better. So I guess next we'll go on the Warlock, and the Remembrance Warlock being a cool one, giving you magical secrets at level 6 and 10. and this is like the Dark Urge class. The Celestial being a focus on more healing. I'm going to focus on the Dread Overlord. I did a Hexblade build recently, which is a cool one. You can hex targets and deal extra damage to them. But this one, you get all these extra benefits. You can summon in crawling creatures, Shield of Souls. This is a Necromancer at its core, and it's a really fun one. So you also get the ability to take special weapons that it gives you. So you see there we got a Skull Flail. It replaced my Dante's Sword, unfortunately. But what this looks like, we get Eldritch Invocations. And there's even some special ones, like Extended Bearer of the True Flame. So you get different attacks. Really cool. You get to choose 2 of these. So Devil's Sight obviously being a very powerful one. We'll go with that. And then we get ourselves the Unholy Pact. So we can apply Bone Chill with our Pact weapon. And Pact of the Chain gives us the dog, which I'm going to show you because the dog is really cool. You can find familiar dog. Pact of the Blade will do Bone Chill, prevent target from healing, so that's really good too if you want to be more melee focused. And we get ourselves a cantrip with Bone Chill, which is nice. We get the ability to summon in a bunch of cool things, which I'll show you guys. Summoner of the Damned, Animate Dead, may cast at will. Minion points, so we get more minions. We also get the Animate Dead, and I don't know, Holy Pact. Anders the Devil Dog gets increased movements. We also have a bunch of extra invocations here. We can use Animate Dead without using a spell slot, Cloak of Flies, Tomb of Levestus, which gives frost damage whenever we get hit, and temporary health. So it's pretty good. Obviously, this one is pretty overpowered. Improved Soul Harvest. I won't get into that, but you basically give yourself increased armor class, and you can eat enemy souls. And you become resistant to necrotic damage, and imbuing your necrotic armaments gives you immunity to necrotic for a short period of time. So you can hit people with some really heavy necrotic. We also got the ability to summon Shadow Spawn, Spirit Shroud, Flock of Familiars gives us 3 familiars for the price of 1. And we also get the ability to give Greater Undead. So I'll show you. You can make Giant Undeads. You can make a Summoner a Skeletal Warlock. So the Warlock will actually be a skeleton that can spell cast, which is crazy. And then we also get Anders the Battle Dog gets the Best Buddies Forever, which allows him to summon 2 more dogs. Huge. It's really strong. And at level 9 we get ourselves Ghouls and Flying Ghosts and Binder of the Soul. We can have more little minions and we can summon in those. We also get a choice of spell. I really like Cloud Kill for this because being able to use this, you deal poison damage which doesn't target your enemies or your allies. Send negative energy at a creature dealing 5 to 16 necrotic if they aren't undead. Targets killed by this will reside as zombies the next turn, become hostile to all creatures. If the target is undead, they gain 5d 122 temporary health instead, which I think is not correct. We'll get Minions of Chaos there because, again, this is a summoner class. We also get the Giant Skeleton, which is huge, and Pact of Eternal Life. So you wield the Vampiric Shroud, absorbs the vitality of living creatures. The tendrils deal extra necrotic and heal you. And we get to choose another spell and cantrip. So we're going to go with our Flock of Familiars. Really nice subclass, or really nice spell. And then we can create Undead. We also get the Spectral Horror, which the Spectral Horror is extremely strong. We also take Crimson Leech, so that's only if you want to be bleeding. That's from the Blood Sorcerer mod that I had shown off there previously. And we get another Eldritch Invocation. I like Pact Weapon gives... I guess we don't have a Pact Weapon, so Life Drinker doesn't really work there. But there's a bunch of other choices, and you can continue to take up your Charisma here. So I'll show this off in combat, because this is a cool one. We can summon a Shadow Spawn, so we can create Despair, Fury, or Fear Shadow Spawns. They're pretty nice just to have in the ground there. You can summon this in. Terror Frenzy does 65 attack, or has 65 health, and it can attack with cold damage, which is, you know, good damage type. And we can also frighten creatures with it. The Skeletal Warlock, so I guess I'll leave camp so that we can show off what this looks like. And poor Pennyface here is gonna get turned into a ghoul. So we'll shut the door. Our Spectral Horror's there. Come on in, everyone. You know the drill. You know the drill. Come on. Shut the door. We have Beast Hunter, Gale there, and Siri. So I guess we'll just go into turn-based mode, and then the door's open, of course. We can even use different attacks to deal extra damage to take out the targets there. I guess we'll go... Oh, this does lose our concentration, so... I guess when in doubt, Eldritch Blast it out. So we'll Eldritch Blast him. Boom. And then with this, we can also summon the Spectral Horror. So this is pretty cool because, oh, we don't have enough space. Crap. Can we move his body over a little bit, guys? So with this, we can summon in an undead. And this is not going to work, I don't think. So we'll see if we can get the Phantasm. They'll let us summon that one in there. But I wanted this, which doesn't have enough space, unfortunately. But then Phantasmal Killer is cool. So we can summon in this Warlock, which has his own spells. So we can do Scorch and Ray, Bone Chill, Nell's Ray of Sickness, like really cool and ranged attacks there. So yeah, it's pretty strong. We'll also shut the door here, and I'll take them out so we can just go into turn-based mode again, and then we'll go ahead with our Eldritch Blast, and I can't Eldritch Blast him, but oh, maybe we can. Boom. Yeah, we took them out, and then we can use our... Not enough space? What do you mean? That's a little unfortunate. Oh, maybe we can get it there. Okay. So we got our Spectral Horror, which has the ability to strike an area and grapple foes, and it does 2d6 plus 7 necrotic and can frighten targets. So we get a few summons here that are really cool. I guess I'll leave turn-based, and then we'll go into turn-based again before we get jumped by the city police. So we can also summon in a giant skeleton, which I think is really cool. So there's a lot of options. So skeletal giant here. Oh, it let me do it. So we can raid this gigantic skeleton, which has 140 health. So obviously that's pretty strong too. And yeah, you get a nice group of undead coming after the enemies here. So we're probably going to get attacked because we're rolling out here with the whole undead. But we'll enter our turn-based mode again, and then I'll show off the true power. So we got our negative blood energy here, so not a great chance of hitting, but we'll do this because it can turn him into a zombie. He failed the save, and then we get into a big combat. So we got our options here. We got our like possessed creature, so we can possess someone, and this is nice because this gives us Shadow Possessed. So now we can control them, and they're under our command. And then we also have our spawn Shadow Tendrils. So not enough space. We can do that over here, and that'll stop the targets from moving. Kind of similar to the version that you get from playing as a Warlock, or from the version that you get if you're a Druid. So we can attack there. They blocked it. And Fear the Dead. We can frighten a target here. So really nice critical hit. We frighten them. Sounds really good. And yeah, we also have our Spectral Horror there. I'm not even going to use that. We'll just continue to spellcast here. Necrotic Armaments. Reclaim Undead allows you to get minion points from claiming your dead. And we also get that necrotic immunity. We got our Bloodborne Hunter here. Just going to end that off there. And pretty strong. So yeah, they're going to attack this, but we also got the ability to turn ourselves into ice, which will prevent us from taking damage. And I guess we'll wait for our Skeletal Warlock, because yeah, this one is really nice. You get so many free attacks with these summons because they're all strong. We also have our giant skeleton here, which is very cool. I'm getting hit because I'm frozen. I shouldn't have used that. But here's our Warlock skeleton, which gives us like ranged attacks. We got Scorch and Raise, which is nice. So we got a few different spells. That's really good for a caster. I mean, like, we got a lot of freedom there. I should have attacked with them. But yeah, this is some really great subclasses in Baldur's Gate 3's Patch 7 Mod Manager. If you found this video useful, hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.